Introverts of Reddit, what annoys you the most that doesn't bother other people? Uninvited guests or honestly, just guests in general. I much prefer going somewhere to meet people, so I can leave when I'm done being social. But if they are in my home, I can't really control when I'm done, except by asking the guest to leave, which many people would see as rude. I hold a party every year. It's the only one I do. I stress every year trying to get things clean and good to go. I had a panic attack on the morning of this year's party. One of the guests also ended up having to sleep over unexpectedly and was vomiting in my bathroom on and off all night/morning. I've sworn off parties for at least 2 years now. I want to be able to socialize with people, but I don't know if I can anymore. I just want my home to not have any guests and be a place I can fully relax and decompress in. I hate getting my hair cut because I'm afraid of the chit chat with whoever cuts my hair. I want to sit and zone out. I mean, they can't possibly want to talk to me either, but then I feel rude if I act cold and don't stimulate conversation. It's exhausting. I have actually changed hairdressers multiple times because I'm very introverted but also try to be friendly. So I never really start any conversation topic, but I'll answer questions politely. Do you have any holiday plans and that sort of things, and then after a while they inevitably get to know you and start talking more and more and asking more and more questions until I really feel uncomfortable going there and I just look for a new hairdresser and the cycle starts all over again. Absolutely everything if I've gone too long without any alone time to recharge. I'm a social introvert, I guess, meaning I love doing things with friends and all kinds of social interaction, but at the end of the day, I need to be alone for a while to relax. If I go for a long period without being able to have alone time, I start getting really exhausted, and my fuse gets shorter and shorter. I don't have the energy anymore to put up with anything, and I want to just retreat into my shell. Thank you for bringing up the actual definition of introversion. So many people say I can't be introverted because I can socialize well, but that has nothing to do with whether someone is introverted or not. Like you, I recharge when I'm by myself, and the state that allows you to recharge is what defines you as introverted or extroverted. I also get sick of people using the I'm introverted excuse for basically just not being a good friend or being a jerk in public. If you are around other people, you have to try to meet them in the middle and not just be mad that they don't want the same thing that you want. I'm not sure if this is really an introvert thing or if it's just not liking rude assholes, but I loathe being interrupted when I'm talking. Part of the reason why I don't chime in much when there's a small group talking is because most people are just waiting for their opportunity to talk next, and some will actually cut you off to throw in their story. Another thing that annoys me is one-upmanship in conversation or to make a joke. Yes, I never talk in group convos because I like to wait until one person has stopped talking to start my own. But everyone keeps jumping in with their own stuff that soon enough the topic has changed and my idea is no longer relevant. When I have something to say, it's because I think it is worth saying and I would like to be paid attention to because I'm expanding the effort to say it. When you interrupt me, it means you weren't paying attention at all or don't care what I have decided to put forth the effort to say and thus rage. People who have to talk just to talk. I had a coworker who could never just work in quiet. She had to be talking or making noises just so it wasn't quiet. I would be a bundle of nerves the whole time at work and it would take me an hour or two to wind down afterwards. Feel this so much. This more of a rant than anything, although I'm very introverted. I have a coworker who never shuts up. I mean never. She's talking as I write this, and out of the times, like now, it's a complete non-conversation. She's talking out loud about some keyboard she wants for her TV, reading out the specs and people's reviews. She does this shit when a local crime/event happens, and will read the whole article out loud, and then play detective, and give her 100 cents on the topic. Mind you, she's not bright. Recently revealed she thought the UK was in Australia, so it's constant face palms all around. Her hearing in one is bad, so speaking volume is always set to kaboom. She does this annoying thing where she sings sentences, think the mom from Bob's Burger. The other one, legitimate, eats food like a pig. I always found that insult super wrong and offensive, but my god, the sounds released when eating some foods are reminiscent of an oink like sound. I'll listen to music/podcasts at work to keep my sanity, but I still wear an earbud in one ear, so they can still ask me questions and not be completely rude, but some days I really want to throw both earbuds. When people pity you because you're by yourself. I sit in my car at lunch and a few days into a new job a colleague came up to me and said, you can join us inside for lunch, we don't bite. Yeah, I didn't fall in my car by accident. I actually like having time to myself. It doesn't feel like a break for me if I'm still surrounded by everyone the whole time. I get how it might look. I do understand their point of view, but I don't get why people think I'm so weird for wanting solitude, peace and quiet. I had an extroverted guy walk up to my car and knock on my window while I was relaxing and listening to music right before my shift started. That immediately pissed me off. I leave a bit early so that I can relax in my car for 20-ish minutes and prepare for a long day of socializing, and this motherfucker had ruined it. I stared long and hard at him for what felt like an eternity before rolling down my window to hear him rant about how a girl gave him the wrong phone number. I just rolled the window back up while he was talking. At the moment, I gave no fucks if I'd lost a friend for being an asshole. Don't disrupt my chill time. Interminable goodbyes make my skin crawl. I'm not a socially anxious person. Small talk doesn't bother me at all. I can be perfectly charming and engaged in conversation for about 2 hours. But when time's up and I'm headed for the door, I start to feel like a freediver swimming back to the surface. Do not stop me on my way out. I don't care about our plans for Tuesday. The bike rack's holding up fine. I don't want to take any leftovers. Getting stuck in an interminable goodbye when I can see the solitude of my car waiting a few steps away. Just thinking about it makes me restless. Work parties/celebrations that are supposed to be fun and a chance to get to know people from other teams. I'm lucky that I actually like my immediate coworkers, but sorry, fun and make awkward small talk with people I never actually need to interact with are opposites, not the same thing. Can I just, go actually do my job? It's slightly better when they are providing beer/wine, but still, I'd really rather just go home early rather than bonding with random people who also happen to get paid by the same organization. Kinda unrelated, but I used to be in Girl Scouts, and every so often there'd be Girl Scout meetings. The one day I decided I just didn't want to go, so instead of riding the bus to the church where we had our meetings, I rode the bus home. I get home, and my mom asked me, "Isn't there a Girl Scout meeting today?" I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Why aren't you there?" Me, "I didn't want to go." Huh, "Are you not feeling well?" Me, "No, I just didn't want to go." And at some point she lectured me about how I can't just decide not to go. I asked why. She didn't really give me a reason. It amounted to just cause. I'm sorry, but as far as I know there's no real obligation to go to every meeting. That's one of the things that drives me batty, is that people always think you have some sort of obligation to do something when you don't. And people wonder why I'm such an introvert. Honestly, the constant pressure that introverts need to open up. It's ridiculous. There's not an equivalent movement to get more talkative people to step back and quieten down. I worked in a couple of support roles while I was a student, and the message was always to try and bring introverts out of their shell and get them more involved. And it's always frustrating because there's this implication that being quiet or reserved is a bad thing that needs to change. Sometimes people are comfortable being quiet, and I don't why so many other people think that needs to change. When I ask one of my friends if they want to do something and their first instinct is to invite other people, I asked you, specifically you. I don't want to find hockey tickets for 8 people or figure out if we are carpooling or getting food or any of that bullshit that's so easy when it's only 2. Most of my friends are also very indecisive socially by nature, so it makes things even more complicated. If you do manage to get your introverted friend out of the house, for fuck's sake make it as simple as possible, unless you really want them to go back into their hole. Okay, story time. So I consider myself a pretty introverted person. I can be very talkative around people I know and trust, but when I meet someone for the first time, I'm more on the quiet side. So one day at work, I had a meeting in 5 minutes, so I went to the bathroom to pee. After doing my business, I noticed a sign that said the faucet is broken. I didn't read this until after my aim practice to ensure I was on target. I thought, I have hand sanitizer at my desk, I'll just rush to my desk and use that before I go into the meeting. I step outside the bathroom and am met with my manager standing beside 3 sales reps. They reach out their hand immediately. I pause for what seems like forever, but it was probably just a couple of seconds. I reach out and shake each of their hands. A big dumb smile on my face as I make zero eye contact and look at our hands as they meet. As we walk into the meeting room, I see one of them rub their face and I'm horrified, but I stay quiet. I know I should have told them something like, I don't shake hands, or whatever, but it all happened so fast. So now, I'm self-conscious about shaking people's hands. Let's be honest, karma is going to get me back someday. I'm just hoping the outcome is not shitty.